I'm literally gonna wait for you. And I see you're gonna be like, nah, I'm not gonna like it. I'm just keep watching.
Just subscribe.
And you think the clip gonna cut right here, but it's not, because I'm still waiting for you to click that like button. And the subscribe and the post notification button.
So in a year filled with a lot of anime and a lot of sleepers, of which I've pretty much been the advocate of, you would think that I would carry on the trend of talking about anime that are under the radar and honestly need a bit more light shed on them.
Yes! Yes!
But based on what you just saw on the thumbnail and title of the video, you would probably know that I'm not talking about that.
Oh, better luck next time, buddy.
And you must be asking yourself, why would I want to talk about that? Well, because spyxfamily is awesome. And if you haven't realized that yet, then this video is gonna help you realize how awesome it is. And yes, I say the X in spyxfamily because that's just the correct thing to do.
I'm better than you. And you know it!
Now, for me to basically explain to you how spyxfamily is such an awesome anime, I'd have to tell you what the anime is about. So basically what happens is you have a family, and this family consists of a spy, an assassin, a kid who can read minds, who's weirdly obsessed with peanuts.
I love these nuts. That's good nuts. You have to try these nuts.
And a dog that can see into the future. Now, at this point, you would probably think that it's an anime about superheroes, but no. Essentially, Lloyd, who's the father in this situation, aka the spy, he was hired to do an infiltration mission that requires him to have a family and, well, a kid. So he found a fake wife, who is the assassin, aka Yor, and he found himself a kid, aka Anya, aka the mind reader, aka peanut obsessed kid. The dog eventually came along the way, which was kind of weird, but it is what it is. So essentially, they have to act as if they're a family.
What you say? What you talking about? What's up?
Because ultimately, Anya has to help Lloyd get certain information on a certain character. Now, I don't want to spoil too much, but essentially, the character is a bad guy. And essentially, they need information on this bad guy because, well, he's a bad guy. So they need the assistance of Anya to infiltrate a school so that they can get a bit closer to this character and do what spies do. Now, the weird part about this situation is that everybody in that family has their own secrets. Because at this point, you would think that everybody's with the program. Everybody knows what's going on. Everything's pretty open. No, because Lloyd doesn't know that he married an assassin, aka Yor, and Yor doesn't know that Lloyd is a spy. Also, they don't know that their fake kid is a mind reader. And also, they don't know that their dog can see into the future. The only person who really is privy to all that information is Anya, because Anya can read minds.
Feeling awake, mentally alert.
So whenever they get into certain situations, Anya gets a lot of the context that we would get. But the issue is Anya is a kid, so she's gonna react as how you would expect a kid to react when her parents are basically a spy, of which she idolizes a cartoon called Bond Man. So she's happy that her dad is a spy, and also she's super happy that her mom is an assassin, even though she's a bit scared of her. So with this amount of dark secrets, you would basically think that this would be a pretty dark anime, of which you would be wrong but also kind of correct, because spyxfamily is weirdly dark at times, but honestly it's about 90% just lighthearted, and this kind of places it in a position where you can't figure out whether you want to take this anime seriously or not. Because the thing about spyxfamily is that it's an anime that is so diverse, and though it may seem simplistic, it's so layered that if you wanted to make it deep, you could easily make it deep, of which you can see that the creator of the anime does from time to time, because generally spyxfamily has a very playful thing about it, and also it's a very episodic anime in the sense that episode 6 might not connect with episode 5. It literally just gets like that, because ultimately it's just an anime about them living their lives. Anya goes to school, of course. Lloyd has to act as if he has a job because, you know, he's a spy, so if they catch him, it's up. Yor has to also act like she has a job because, well, show, she kills people for a living. So it does have the lane to basically show you a bunch of things that happen in their lives, of which it does, which kind of makes the anime a bit disjointed when it comes to a certain direction, because it's so episodic that sometimes you might think that, oh damn, episode 5 was super intense, only to find out that episode 6 and 7 will just literally be about Anya trying to get good grades at school.
Oh, brother, this guy stinks!
It could literally just be like that. But this kind of shows the level of weird ingenuity that the creator of this anime has, because there's moments within this anime that can make you really feel certain dark elements that could have deep meaning in a very playful way. Because you could have this whole episode where basically Anya is trying to get good grades, and at some point you'd be like, damn, this is a very childish episode and I'm having fun, but it's not as deep as I want it to be. Only to then experience about a few seconds of Anya going through the mindset of what happens if she fails. Because ultimately, she's aware that if she fails at school and gets kicked out, the mission's a failure, so she will go back to being an orphan. Mind you, yeah, I forgot to say that she was an orphan. That's how they found her. I'm assuming you should have connected the dots, because I don't think you can just go around and pick up children. So then she goes through the fear of having to lose out on this family that she is starting to build a connection with. Now, this is something that everybody experiences, because despite Lloyd trying to be this spy who's super calculated and always on the side of truth and lies, he also understands that he's not trying to just use these people. He's starting to care about them. Despite him being told to not really care that much, it's pretty clear that he's a human and he's starting to develop feelings for his family. And that shows when in certain situations he feels like he could be in danger, but ultimately he has to remember that he has a mission. But also he's trying to weirdly preserve himself because of his family, despite being this hotshot extreme spy. And in season 2, this is dived into where this person who's very oblivious about a lot of things starts thinking differently about certain actions. In that when she wanted to be an assassin, she did it for a certain reason, and that was to support her brother. So she became super cold and what you would expect from someone who is an assassin. But now as she's starting to develop a family and a love and a care for these people who initially were fake family for her, she's starting to become hesitant, and she's also starting to ask herself why she's still an assassin, a job that requires her to risk her life all the time. She becomes so fearful of just being injured that it starts to put her in jeopardy when she gets into missions. But then moments later, she will then just have the most goofiest moments ever, and then spyxfamily will just go back into being spyxfamily, and that is just a funny, playful anime, which is kind of perplexing. But if you really think about it, that is awesome writing, because it shows that this anime is able to dive into two worlds whenever it chooses. Despite the presentation, I can understand how sometimes this anime can be perceived as an anime for children, but you'd be right and you'd also kind of be wrong, because yes, you could easily put this in front of a child, or if you wanted them to be messed up. But that doesn't also mean that you couldn't have fun enjoying it, because Anya is able to perceive and understand certain things about what the characters are going through, like Lloyd or just people around her world, because of her ability to read minds. She still sometimes lacks the ability to understand the deeper moments when characters go through it in their minds. And this is kind of a weird play on the anime, because you could have a child watch this and they would have the best time ever, but also they would miss out on some of the deep and profound moments within this anime. Similar to how Lloyd and York could be going through certain thoughts in their head that Anya doesn't fully understand, but you would be able to understand because you're a bit older and have an understanding of what they're going through or thinking about. And that kind of just shows the layers of this anime, that it can go as deep as you want it to go.
What? Bro, what are you talking about, man?
but also ultimately it's a good, fun anime. It's an anime that's able to provide a feeling of happiness and joy that is weird, but kind of just hits home, because this anime has the ability to make you smile and make you laugh, and that's a feeling that is really underrated in anime. And I can understand how, as an anime fan, it's very difficult to sometimes balance the line between someone who basically seems to be enjoying cartoons or something childish with someone who is actually enjoying a different art form. Yeah, someone may perceive it as something childish, but you're watching something like a Tokyo Ghoul, like an Attack on Titan, learning about mature subject matter in a different presentation. But that shouldn't stop you from enjoying the things that do look childish and are childish, because ultimately as a human you should be allowed to experience as many feelings as you want to. So sometimes you don't have to watch the super dark and grim anime just to show that you're not into this thing that is perceived as being childish.
Which lollipop do you want? This lemon one or this candy one?
You don't have to be so guarded in the type of things that you watch, because, well, like I said, yeah, it's a childish anime. Yeah, it's a goofy anime, but it provides a feeling that is different from other anime, and that's the feeling of happiness and joy. Being able to take a moment out of your day to just smile and just relax and watch something where you don't have to think is pretty fun. But also, honestly, if someone came in and caught you watching it,
hey, what you watching?
Listen, trust me, right? There's many scenes that are pretty grim in this anime, especially season 2. You could just act as if like,
Come on now, dawg. Come on, man.
You could act as if you really care about the dark aspects of the anime. So yes, spyxfamily is a very goofy, lighthearted anime that is something that is for everybody. And honestly, in terms of music, spyxfamily, in my opinion, since it started, I think that it's been on the best opening and ending run ever. Like, I'll legit just let the episode play through. And we know that with certain anime, you skip the opening or the ending. Nope, not with spyxfamily, especially the ending. The ending is amazing. But this anime has a lot of things to it that can go under the radar. Yeah, people have a certain perception about spyxfamily, but spyxfamily does pretty well, both in terms of anime and manga. So there's a huge crowd of people who love this anime, and I'm pretty convinced that it's not just a bunch of children. Honestly, it sometimes feels as though people just have a perception of this anime of which is slightly true, well, really true, but forget about giving the anime a chance and understanding the beauty in its writing, the beauty in the animation, the beauty in the music. So ultimately, spyxfamily is awesome, and it would be a mistake to just let the perceptions of how it's seen make the judgment for you. Take some time and actually watch it, especially season 2, because you'll be surprised to find out that spyxfamily might end up being one of your favorite anime that you don't tell anybody about, but you want to tell everybody about.